My name is Lief. I'm founder and CEO of Ubuntu Pathways. When I was 13, I moved to the United Kingdom and got involved with the Free South Africa movement and had an opportunity when I was just 17 to go observe the country's incredible transformation from apartheid to democracy. I was inspired by everything I saw. I knew I wanted to become part of the new South Africa. A few years later at university in the States, I found an opportunity to go back to South Africa. I met up with a guy who convinced me to get off in a place called Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Come have a beer with him in the townships. I followed him. I was a white guy. I symbolized everything wrong in the country. I followed this guy to what he called a tavern. It was a shack. The music stopped when the door opened and everyone looked at me. I literally thought this was the end of me. A guy in the corner of the room motioned me over to come sit with him. His name was Banks Guacamole. We spent 3-4 hours drinking and talking about education in the country and his desires for what he wanted to see for his own children. He then said, "Why don't you come work in my school?" I spent 6 months living and working in these communities. Sure, I overly romanticized the poverty. I knew at the end of the day I could always leave. But what I witnessed shaped my views on development. You see, Mandela was telling the country's youth that apartheid was over, everyone could go to university. And he was out there raising huge amounts of money from the international community to come invest back in South Africa. But big philanthropy was moving into the country, and everyone was defining success by how many cups of soup they could hand out, how many wind-up computers they could give. And I'd watch organization after organization come through these schools, these communities I was living in, and none of it was reconciling. You'd see abused 12-year-old girls living in shacks with illiterate parents, being told they could go to university, and they were being given a wind-up computer and a cup of soup. That's not how I got to University of Pennsylvania. It takes a huge sustained investment to change a child's life. And that's really where Ubuntu began. The idea behind it was, could we take the most vulnerable children we could find and give them a pathway out of poverty? And we started Ubuntu. We start with HIV positive mothers. We have a 100% success record in delivering HIV negative babies at the right birth weight. We then work with these children every day of their lives. There is nothing more sustainable than investing in a child every day of her life. We take them on a cradle to career journey. We give them what children all around the world deserve. And that's absolutely everything, every day. We go into their homes, ensure there's a roof over their head, there's no abuse happening. We provide them psychosocial support, schooling, and then finally, at the age of 16, we split them into 2 tracks, vocational training or university. Our end goal at Ubuntu is stable health, stable income. Whether you're a chartered accountant, whether you're a lawyer, or you're a factory worker. If you're healthy, you're bringing home an income, and you're a good citizen, and that's success to us. About 2 to 3 years into this journey, we realized that if we want to get big funding, we would have to expand the amount of children we worked with. For some reason, I landed on number 40,000. So we quickly redesigned some of our programs so we could check boxes and start ticking numbers. Before you know it, we were reaching 40,000 kids. It wasn't a lie. We were really reaching them. We were reaching them with a computer class, a workshop on HIV prevention. And we started reporting on these results. And for some reason, that's what the big philanthropy wanted to see. Before you know it, we were getting, money was pouring in. We were raising $8-9 million a year. We were at Davos. We were getting the big awards. But it was all bullshit. You can't reach 40,000 children effectively. Not 40,000 children who'd been abused, who were HIV positive, who lost parents. Not to have real impact. There was a difference between touching a child's life and changing a child's life. This big money we were getting, this heavily restricted foundation money, this government funding from PEPFAR, the US government, from the Canadian government, from the British government, it was killing the soul of our organization. And it was forcing us to do things we didn't want to do. And we knew that was really wrong. So we started weeding ourselves off of this big foundation money. And today, we do more with $5 million and $6 million of unrestricted capital than we did with $8 to $9 million of heavily restricted capital. A lot of the philanthropy over the last decade, it's all been driven by this notion of scale. What we've learned is raising children is just not scalable. It's deeply individualized. So while we're not going to scale Ubuntu, we are going to leverage our model and help and amplify it and help others around the world through what we know. We've done the work. We've been in the field. There's nothing you can throw at me that we haven't figured out, that we haven't dealt with over the last 2 decades. So what we want to do is take this and package it in a meaningful way and help other young organizations, early stage ventures, grow responsibly. Help big companies, Fortune 100 companies who are working in sub-Saharan Africa. How do they engage in their communities in a thoughtful manner? How do they take what they call their corporate social investment and align it into their core operations? I spend a lot of time with young entrepreneurs, early stage ventures, people trying to change the world through socially good businesses. And I'm often caught by individuals who say, I want to start a nonprofit. That's the wrong way to approach a situation. You have to find a cause that inspires you to your core, that you find the passion in, because this is too hard of work to just do it as a job. But we do it for a bigger reason, because we can see the impact we're having on people's lives. We're leaving a greater legacy, but it's really hard work. Surround yourself with good human beings, with a support system of mentors, coaches, people you can vent to. Invest in people, people, people. This needs to be a career for a human being. It cannot be a volunteer stint. It cannot be something you do on the weekends. Raising children is very serious business, and it's really hard. I mean, now that social entrepreneurship is taught in every business school in America, I come across a lot of people who say, well, what's the trade-off decision we're going to make here? It's easy to say it's a better social return when you invest X amount of money into program A. But if that means cutting program B that actually is delivering food and keeping people alive, you have to remember that what we do is deeply human.